Welcome to Smash or Bash. I'm Melly.
And I'm Mickey.
And if you're trying to guess our accents, I'm Guyanese.
Yes, and I'm Trinidadian. So yeah.
And Mickey, you're probably the only Trinidadian who can tolerate a Guyanese.
No. I would say that. I would say that. But I can say the same thing.
Okay, so this is our first time doing a program at YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And we decided to give an episode reaction to Loki, episode 1.
Yes.
So Mickey, go ahead.
All right. So the episode starts off with Loki from 2012. That's when he first attacked. That's when he attacked New York, and the Avengers first came together. So that's it's that Loki that we're talking about, not the one that had all that character development in Infinity War, who died unfortunately. All right. So that was his starting point. And from there he got, due to the actions of the Avengers in Infinity War, he actually got the Tesseract and was able to, escape before he was put in prison. And because of that, the Time Variance Authority, they captured Loki because he was more or less infringing on the laws of their laws of time. And that episode is more or less him learning about the Time Variance Authority for the first time.
When I saw the episode for the first time, after my reaction was it was a boring episode.
Which I strongly disagreed with, but yes. Okay.
Yeah, in the sense that what we're used to in Marvel is all of this action. Mm-hmm. And we didn't have that in the episode. So I was looking for the action. Coming off of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Right, yeah.
I wanted a continuation in that department. But then I watched it again. And it really resonated with my emotional side. My heart went out for Loki. Went out to Loki.
Okay.
I felt as if it was me sometimes in the episode. What about you?
Me, I enjoyed it from the moment I saw it. From day one. In my opinion, I saw WandaVision. I watched the Winter Soldier. And it intrigued me more than those actually. It kept my attention more than those two shows, because even with those other shows, I kind of off and on watched it. But with this one, I'm excited for the next episode, which was different for me at least. I mean, I'm not saying that they were bad. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed both WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But Loki somehow, from the start of it, although there wasn't any major action, it kind of kept my attention, and because of the storyline, and then you saw the kind of hurt that he went through, and not only that, you're very curious to see if this Loki, because again, this is not the Loki that had all this character development and died for Thor, right? This is the Loki before he still had a hate in his heart for Thor, and he disliked his father, and and for him, when I saw him like that, I was very curious to see where, how this particular Loki would react when he did find out what really happened. And so sad, so that you saw him find out that he because of his actions, his mother died, and he saw that he actually made up with Thor and even with his father, and he realized that the bond between himself and Thor was actually restored. So it was really emotional part. And then on top of that, what really got me is when he saw that he died, you know. So I am actually curious because again, this is not the same Loki that had all that character development. This is, uh, a Loki that still is very self-centered and he really looks out for himself. So I'm very curious to see what he will do now that he found out that his end is death. I don't think he's gonna take that sitting down, and I don't think he will necessarily be that good, goody two shoes Loki that we that we knew in the end of Infinity War. And yeah, so I'm actually was very hyped to see, you know, what I actually have to see what he would do in the coming episodes, So yeah.
Yeah. So we both had strong reactions to about the same part of the episode. Mm-hmm. When he was lost, when he's seen his past mistakes. Yeah, and they put in the show in a fun fact that he was DB Cooper, who the FBI have been looking for since the 1970s. But yeah, back to it. Yes, and to hear Morbius telling him that I wrote it down, I was making notes. You weren't born to be King Loki. You were born to cause pain and suffering and death. And no one wants to hear that. To know that, Loki thinks of himself as this person who's made to rule. And to know that his actual face or the reason why he's there, I can't say on Earth, but he's there, is just to make others become their best self. Who wants to hear that?
That's true. No, but I even when Mobius was interrogating him, I don't think he was necessarily saying that. It was like I think his reason for interrogating him like that is because because in the end of the episode, the variant that they were actually looking for was I guess a next Loki apparently, right? So I think the reason for the interrogation was to understand that Loki as well as, get that Loki to come over on his side. So I think it was like he was doing that more or less to get two outcomes more or less, So I thought it was interesting. Okay. Especially, yeah.
Yeah, well, we learned some information about the Mobius character, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. Okay, again, what I like about Marvel is that they use a lot of content that a lot of people don't know about because the Time Variance Authority, their first appearance was in 1986, right? Unless you're some kind of die-hard Marvel fan, you would. I've never heard of them. I'll be honest with you. And this is first time I heard of them. But that's what I always liked about what Marvel did. And Mobius was part of the organization. So I like the fact that they are using content that hasn't even been touched in so long, or content that was just kind of, breezed over. That's the exact same thing they did with Guardians of the Galaxy as well.
And we'll do with the Eternals.
Exactly, with the Eternals. I mean, I heard of the Eternals, but again, I don't know much about them. And that's what I love about the direction they go with. They have so much content and they are using it. And even if it's not exactly the the same way that it was written, it's still very close to the source material, and I always appreciate in Marvel for that. And yeah, I'm hyped to see where this would go when it comes to the MCU as a whole, like the actual movies and all these different things. Yeah, so
I'm eager to see how it turns out. If what Loki is doing here, how does that tie into the multiverse? Maybe we'll get something like that at the end. But I'm glad they cleared up one question I had about when the Avengers went back in time and triggered this Loki to end up where he is right now, if that was
Mhm.
part of them being on track. And they did say yes, that was planned to happen. So
Mhm.
they didn't vary off.
I would say though it's
Mhm.
right. I would say it's still I still have a lot of questions though, because they are saying that okay, so for example, in the start, not the start, well, when Loki was going through processing and he took a ticket and he was walking towards the other guy, um they had this little
Miss
kind of a
Minute.
Miss Minute, right? And
Correct.
yes, exactly. And they're saying that they try to keep one particular timeline. All right. No, my again, maybe I misunderstand the whole thing, but I still don't fully understand if they are trying to keep one timeline, how were the Avengers able to go back in time if there was another timeline? Because actually, I should say they didn't go back in time. They
Mhm.
traveled to other, I guess other, well, it's multiverse theory. So the other multiverse they traveled to. So my question is how, if you're keeping one, your goal is to keep one universe running, right? Why is it why would the Avengers able to branch off into other multiverse? That's
Well,
my question.
well, I'm trying to look for the comments I sent you, the message I sent you,
Mhm.
where I said I'm trying to remember it verbatim, but
Right.
when I said that Marvel or Disney's Endgame is to confuse their fans, I can't answer your question.
I mean, again, maybe I see that from the wrong perspective, because there's also the the idea of maybe maybe they don't want to keep, maybe their goal is not to keep I don't know how to play, boy. Maybe their idea is just to keep the stream of time in one direction. Maybe that's what they've been. But but for what I gathered, their goal is to make sure the universes don't branch off. And for the Avengers to have to go to other multiverse, that means it did branch off to a degree, you know? So I don't know. I mean, even again, it's strange. When the ancient one was talking to Hulk, she explained something. It sounded a little different as well to what, you know, to what the time variant authority is saying. It's similar, but it sounded a bit different. And then on top of that, you have the question of okay, if the multiverses, because this is what the ancient one said in Infinity War, right? Not Infinity War, sorry, in Endgame. Um, she said if the stones are removed from the universe, you know, um, then you will have a whole mess, right?
That's a guess.
Yeah, but the thing is, in Loki, these people had a certain Infinity Stones in the drawer. So why aren't the universes that are missing these Infinity Stones in chaos? That's my question. So how I ask it does raise like 100 more questions for me with Loki, which I like, because it's not too fun if it's just straightforward. Sometimes it's a little fun to figure it out as they go, or even find the plot holes sometimes, because no no show is without plot holes, let's be honest. But yeah, I find it very interesting.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why he's on the show. You know, the in-depth Marvel geek there. Well, yeah. So, well, I was just fascinated by how they were living in that dimension with
Okay.
the flying cars and Loki
Mhm.
asking or wondering, are you sure there's no magic involved?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
so
it's an impressive universe. It's impressive because not only that, it kind of give you another level of power because again, because of Endgame, you thought the Infinity Stones was this all powerful thing, and now it's just like nothing compared to this universe that these people are living in. So yeah.
Okay. Anything else we should touch on in the episode before we move on to like?
Okay.
Well, one other thing I should say, it's not
Right.
anything that's major, but
Mhm.
when Loki got the upper hand over Hunter, what's the name, B-15, I was saying
Right.
to myself, they really should learn a thing or two from Wakanda and use a fail-safe switch, like how
Yeah,
happened in the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I was like,
I find yeah, yeah.
so no one before Loki ever tried anything and succeeded. Like,
I agree. When I was like, okay, so why, it was so easy for Loki that and not only just get away, but walk around, get around the building and threaten people and still get away at the end. The only reason they get him is because he stopped, you know. But yeah, I agree. They should do something. They need to do something about their security.
yeah,
You know?
and persons don't know anything about being gutted like a fish.
Yeah.
I want to
No, I
live
mean,
there.
I thought it was a little funny. I mean, the fact that he don't know what a fish is, but that was interesting.
Oh god.
But it
Yeah,
also, yeah,
I
but
want that level of innocence back. also,
yeah.
also,
Mm,
I would probably, if I was in Loki's position at the point where he had to sign
mm,
this, that this was everything you've written, I would
mm.
want to know what my first words
What
were
else is it?
because my parents never told me that.
That's true. That is so true. Yeah. Yeah, there's something about that. I think everybody would like to know. I mean, your parents, some people parents might tell them where your first words were. How you know that's true? You never know. You could have said something when there wasn't around. Those could have been your first words. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so those are things that I found interesting. Nothing compared to you,
No,
but
yeah.
yeah, I don't think I have anything else written here. And so we should probably go to the actors. Well, we obviously know Tom. I see he bulked up a little bit, not as much as the guy from the Falcon and Winter Soldier, whose name is just escaping me at the moment. I know his name, but right now there are a little bit of nerves. So
Okay.
yeah, but he bulked up a bit for the
Mhm.
role. I also
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
he's
yeah.
executive producer as well, so you getting the extra.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, and it's always a pleasure to see Owen Wilson. I've been a fan of his for a long time, and I think this is the first time he's ever done anything comic book related.
At least, yeah, from what I see, this is his first time doing anything like that. And again, I don't do his entire career, but from my recollection, yeah, this is his first time doing anything like that.
Yeah, he
So
was
yeah,
bit
yeah, yeah.
under the radar for a while though.
Yes. The last thing I actually watched, which is kind of sad, but the last thing I saw him in was actually Zolanda 2. Was it 2 or was he in 2? Yes, I think it was, yes. Zolanda 2 was the um last time I saw him, act more or less. But I like both Owen and Tom's chemistry as well, on screen. Um, it looks like it's going to be a show with a lot of, not a lot, but
Body cop, body cop show.
yeah, it's gonna be a lot of that. Gonna have some, for sure. Gonna have some comedy relief because already from the first episode it was it had some really funny parts and you know. Uh, so yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing their chemistry on screen for the next coming episodes.
Yeah, and the other actors, I know nothing of them, including Tara Strong. I think that's her name. Who is voicing Miss Minutes. I read up a bit. So she's a big
Okay.
voice actor, and she mostly works with DC. DC. So her coming over and doing both. But that's all I know about her.
No, smart, smart.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you want to go into predictions? What do you think will happen in the next episode tomorrow? We shot this late because me. Because of
Mhm.
me. I took so long to to make the time. I'm sorry. I hope that by this weekend we can get the second episode up, but who knows? Yeah. So any predictions?
Yeah. Um, you made an interesting prediction saying that the other Loki might be female, but I don't think so. And the reason I say I don't think so is because when they were describing him in the show, I watched it over right before we not right before, but like a day before we filmed this. Um and they said he. So most likely, I mean, I wish it didn't say that because it would get a little more mystery and a little more, things to think about there. But I think it would be interesting to see. I think it might be. I think it might be the Loki that he's presently talking to now is who eventually turned. That's what I think it is. Like, so it is a lot of. It's gonna be complicated and crazy, but I think it was maybe a Loki from another universe that this happened to, who actually, is on the loose now and going crazy because he has knowledge of the um I was always forget the name
I'm
of the time.
burdened. He's
The,
burdened with the guilt of indirectly killing his mom.
yeah, yeah, and I know that he has direct knowledge of how the time variant authority operates. So that which means he knows the tactics and the thing that they use because he's outsmarted them. So I believe is a Loki that they recruited who is on the loose running around right now. That's what I think. But that's like a very easy explanation. So I'm hoping it's not that easy. I'm hoping it's a little more complicated than that, to be honest.
I
You know?
hope you're wrong because that means it'll be more confusing.
Yes, it would. But no, that's I would mind it be a little more confusing. Once they explain, my whole thing is it could be confusing. Just explain what happens in the end. That's all I have to ask. Just like, make sure I give a proper explanation. You know. So yeah.
Well, you might not get the explanation now. You might get it till maybe Spider-Man or even
True. True. But once they explain it, that's my whole thing. Once they explain
okay.
it.
Well, I that's my only prediction. Where I hope it's not Tom Hiddleston playing
Yeah.
another Loki. Please be someone else.
Yeah, it would be cool. I would be looking forward to that. And explain why he's so different and give a background to that particular Loki's universe. What would be a big plot twist is if that Loki is actually Thor, which is for that was not gonna happen, but that's being I
Yeah, what
just
makes
say
you wonder if Thor will show up?
I don't think so, honestly. No, you never know with these shows, to be honest with you. You never know who could make a cameo appearance or whatever. But I can't see Thor appearing because I don't think he has any knowledge of no, he doesn't. He doesn't have any knowledge of the time variant authority. Um, and I don't think anybody no, nobody does. I don't even think the ancient one knew um who they are. At least I don't think so.
Maybe
So
not the Thor that you saw that they told you about.
maybe, maybe. No, you're right. No, you could be very right. I hope it's some kind of crazy twist, something that I not expected. Honestly, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, well, I was impressed where that they watered down the comedy
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, they
as
had to.
compared to the movies, which I did not like, especially the third one.
We see Thor and Rock. while I enjoyed Thor Ragnarok, I did enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie. I did find the comedy was a little too much at times. Like it was trying a little too hard to be funny, in my opinion. I would agree and attest to that. But I still enjoyed it. But it was a little, they was trying a little hard. But the funny parts did make me laugh. But it kind of threw off the tone of who Thor is a bit, instead of this kind of warrior, they make him more like a goofball kind of person, which I'm glad they didn't stick with, because in the other movies, and like for example Endgame and Infinity War, you saw the pain of his loss very deeply, and so I'm glad they didn't stick to that kind of goofball thing fully. Yes, he's still funny and he's making his little jokes here and there, but it's not like overly done. But yeah, I agree with you with that last Ragnarok movie. I was like, yeah, this a little, they're trying a little too hard.
I will never watch that movie again.
No, I'd watch it. I'd watch it still. But it's still I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. Yeah.
I don't think I finished it. So
You didn't finish it? You should. You should. Because it was good. It was good.
and I'm someone who loves comedy. You know me.
Yes. That's your genre of shows.
Not hear you clearly.
Oh yeah, no, I know that's your that's your go-to, go-to stuff.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
I think that's it. So
Yeah.
please, that's it for the first episode. So stay tuned to the channel.
Yes. Yeah.
We almost forgot to say, was it a smash or did we do any bashing?
No, I mean, well, I didn't think I did any bashing, because I mean I can't bash it properly because it's like that's the first episode. So maybe by the second episode, if they start to contradict themselves or whatever, then I could probably bash it or something. But I don't have much to bash just yet, because I waited to see where they go with this show.
Okay, so it's a smash. I didn't feel like
smash
that on
me.
the first go around, but when I watched it over, yes, it's a smash.
Smash for sure. Smash for sure. I have nothing bad to say, or at least right now. Yeah.
Okay, so stay tuned for the second episode. I'm Melly.
And I'm Mickey.
Yes.
Please like and subscribe.
Yes, and share.
And share,
leave your
please.
comments down below what we can improve on. Remember, this is our first time doing this.
Yes, for sure.
So see you next time.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Yes, bye.